Have you ever seen a chameleon? Of course you have, most likely. Well, there's one outstanding characteristic of a chameleon. I know there are so many, but one that is so outstanding is how it's able to blend into the environment with ease. In fact, unless you're a very keen person, you may not be able to even tell that a chameleon is just around where you are because it has blended with the environment. If it's green area, it's green. If it's gray, it's gray. It really blends well with the environment. You know, that is the one key skill that I want for us to talk about today. It's what is called adaptability. You know, you are able to recognize and adapt your environment so that you are able to easily flow into it. Another very important thing to look at here is water. Water is basically formless, right? It blends or moves into the container or path or whatever it is that it needs to move into. But do you know that water is actually one of the most powerful forces of nature that we can ever have, in spite of it having formlessness, right? But this is about life, and we're talking about 3 A's today. The first A is the A that being able to adjust, all right? When life happens and things are disrupted, as it happens once in a while. We saw this in a huge scale when COVID happened, but in individual lives or in a smaller group lives, life often change or get disrupted every now and then. And so the ability to adjust to the happenings of the time remains a key skill that you must learn. If you remain rigid and still insisting on the old ways when things have been disrupted, then we lose the ability to move to the next level. All right? So the first A is being able to adjust. All right? The second A in this case is what a chameleon does. Chameleon adapts. All right? So adapting to the environment, adapting to what is there. Once you've adjusted, then it allows you time and ability to adapt to the new change. All right? Take an example. You've lost your job. Right? You've been going there every day. Right? Every morning you wake up, you go to work, you go back home. You go to work, you go back home. And the disruption in that loss of job, comes with a lot. Number one, you'll have to, first of all, adjust to the fact that you won't be going out every now and then, especially if you're here to get something else to do. All right? Adapting into that means that now you have to think of how you're going to survive, how you are going to form new habit or new consistency or new ways of doing things. And then lastly is advancing, right? So advancing basically means that you've accepted that the disruption has happened and you've adjusted to it. You've adapted to the new environment, whether it means moving to a smaller house or moving to a different neighborhood or moving to something else, all right? And then lastly is to advance. That means that once you've accepted, adjusted, and adapted, you don't stop there. Now you move and begin to subdue the new environment. You begin to take charge, to grow, to perform, to advance in the new environment. All right? So that you are able to again become more alive. So basically, life is about adjusting, adapting, and advancing. All right? Some people tend to adjust and probably adapt, but they forget to advance. All right? Others struggle with adjusting and even adapting, and also advancing. So the 3 A's that are so key for us to continue doing life and that we need to understand, because when disruption happens, we're going to have to apply these 3 A's. Number 1 is adjust to the new changes. Number 2 is adapt, all right? Accept the new environment, find a way to blend into it. And then number 3, once you have adapted to it, now advance, all right? Move forward and move quick, all right? And continue expanding and growing and becoming bigger. See you in the next. Chris Gweth here. Please like, subscribe, and share. And let's continue having this conversation. Let me also hear your thoughts on the comment below so that we can grow each other. See you in the next one.